Hello, Christian Life Assembly, and welcome to the first Sunday of March. The first Sunday of every month, we have our global emphasis, our Beyond Our Walls. First of all, I want to thank you. Thank you to every individual and family for your involvement during the February month of global awareness. It was a great time. I hope you enjoyed the interviews, hope you learned something, hope it motivated you to pray, and I hope that everybody's had an opportunity to give towards the projects. If you have not given towards the February mission projects, would you do that today? Just go online and give to General Missions or give to one of the projects. We'd appreciate it so much. I also want to say that we are really looking forward to the interview that we're going to do today. We've just sent out our new March missions newsletter. I hope you've signed up for it. And in the newsletter, we're talking about refugees and CLA's response. And so today's video is also going to be about that. So my guest today is Debbie Mohamed, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be sitting here. Debbie is a board member, and I'm going to ask her a couple of questions. But first of all, I want our church to know that we are in one of the greatest global refugee crises in the history of the world. It is really unprecedented with the number of people that are displaced and on the move. They are on the move because of things like war and famine and persecution. We sort of commissioned you, along with some other people, to do some research on what CLA could do for the refugee crisis. And so tell me a little bit, first of all, what have you been learning in this process?
We started this dialogue a year and a half ago.
Wow.
About what we can do as a church in CLA. And so as part of that process, I started with interviewing people. People within our congregation who had relatives in refugee tents and refugee organizations. And so through that process, one of my first lessons that I learned here at CLA is I interviewed 4 different families, and the one common theme amongst all of those was the persecution for their faith.
Okay.
Each one of these family members had a relative who were being persecuted for their faith. So that was one of my first learning. The second learning was also, in the interview process, I met quite a few people who were very passionate about working with refugees. And a group of people that came together were very passionate as well as experienced in working with refugees. And the last bit was my interaction with Canadian immigration.
Okay.
And the biggest learning from that piece was the amount of paperwork.
Today we've got a big announcement, and that's why we're coming to you on Beyond Our Walls. So Debbie, what's the big announcement? What's CLA going to try to do?
Well, I am most excited today to announce that CLA is ripe and ready to work with refugees. So we are launching today a ministry to refugees.
Awesome.
And from today onwards, you will be hearing more as we go along.
And you've actually identified some families, and we're going to progress with those families to bring them to Canada.
Yes. We have identified and met with about 5 families. We actually have 2 families that we are actually working with right now. One has already gone through the application process to immigration. The other one is in process, but we will take this one step at a time.
That is amazing. Now, what can our life groups, what can individuals at CLA do to help as we launch the refugee sponsorship program?
There would be our commitment to refugees would be for 1 year, in which we have to take care of them totally. That means financially, means grocery, housing, just adding furniture to their apartments, getting them all settled in Canada, and how to live in Canada. And so we look forward to our life groups adopting a refugee family,
Right.
coming together to work with a refugee family. We're going to need many hands on deck as we roll this out.
Okay, CLA family. One of the reasons that we gather online on Sunday mornings is because we are a family on a mission. We don't just watch church. We don't just observe. We are participants. And so Debbie has outlined how we can work together in a new refugee program that CLA is going to sponsor. Can I ask you to pray? Pray that Debbie and her team would have wisdom. Pray that God's favor would be upon our applications. Pray for these families that are going to be sponsored. And then if God moves upon your heart to engage your life group or to engage your family, to engage your children, would you reach out to us? And we'll make sure that we're able to utilize your gifts. Thank you for taking time. Debbie, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to updates through the monthly missions communique that we send out. God bless you, CLA.